Hey, hey! How we doing? How we
I'm
doing?
good, man.
All
Good.
right. Well,
Well,
we've upgraded out of poverty a little.
just a little
We
bit.
got our government subsidy check here, and spend it wisely. As you can tell,
I like
looks
it.
good,
I,
dude.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it. And
Looks real good
I want to take a moment and I wanted to just thank my dad.
for sure, for sure.
Without him, none of this was going to be possible. He really helped put in the work in getting this done.
Way to go, Robert.
And I just want to say one more thing about that, and it's an amazing feeling when you have a parent when you just go, "Hey, I want to start a podcast. I want to do this. This is my vision."
Yeah.
And not 1 second of hesitation.
Oh no, no,
Just, yeah, man.
exactly.
It's like, let's get her done. And that type of belief goes a long way for
Oh,
anybody.
for sure. I
So, if,
mean, it made this happen.
yeah, it's
I mean,
beautiful. I love
yeah,
it. Love every bit of it.
yeah. You guys did an awesome job, and thank you. You're a big part of this too, my man. Setting up the mics, one of us has got to do work for a living,
I'm
but
not. I'm not gonna lie. During that process of learning these mics,
hmm
I'm not saying I was throwing things or
right.
cussing. I was actually a saint the whole time.
Oh, I'm still waiting for this to grab like half my beard and rip it out. Like I feel
Yeah,
like that's gonna happen.
probably.
Yeah, because I'm gonna get too close. I'm gonna get in real.
Well, if it's your first time joining us here on Smooth Talk, we want to thank you for being here, and we also want to ask that you like and subscribe if you do like what you're hearing.
Yeah, I mean, let us know what you think, guys. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, leave us some feedback. Like I say, we're just kind of starting this deal. We're gonna get it going here pretty quick. It's gonna start rolling on its own. Um, but we love feedback. Like I say, you can hit us up anytime. Like I say, leave a message. Let us know what's going on. Oh well, thank you, sir. It is. I mean, it's time to celebrate, for sure, right?
I think so. I mean, if not today, when?
Exactly. Bud.
So, should I start this story for you?
I Yeah, just might as well. Let's
uh,
just jump right into it here.
so, I'm probably, I want to say 21 or 20. Oh, yeah, the youngin' days.
Oh man.
And I'm going to actually just let you have that while I tell this.
All right.
Um, I'm living up in KC, and my roommate's like, "Hey, I want to go. I want to go to my brother's baseball game back in Tipton." I said, "Okay, not a big deal," but I'm like, "There's more to this." So I'm like, "You better tell me right now what's going on here."
Right.
And he's like, "Well, man, there's this girl there, and I
Always.
always a
Always.
girl,"
Always.
and I'm
Always.
like, "Okay," and he's like, "I get the mumble mouth around her."
Oh.
He's like that bad, and I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right, not a big deal. I'll go with
I mean,
you."
it's not always the worst thing, but
So we're there at the game. Um, she walks by with his cousin, I believe, and she's just the sweetest girl, nicest girl ever, and looks at him, says, or looks at us. She goes, "Hey guys," innocent as can be,
hmm
and I don't say anything. I just kind of give the nod, the thing.
Well, yeah, the cool guy nod.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
up?
like you're good. Say
Like,
hi. You're just
I was
like,
looking at the cousin. I'm not gonna lie.
oh well, of course.
Yeah. But but he goes, just like that.
Mm.
And she's like, "Okay."
I'm guessing this isn't his native tongue. It's just a mumble.
Oh no, buddy.
He just fell all
No.
over
And so instantly after she gets just past, face to palm. And
himself.
I'm a joker,
Yeah.
I love everybody, but I just kind of go, you kind of look Spanish, buddy. Maybe she thought you were speaking
Yeah. I mean,
Spanish. And he's like, "John, she's known me my whole life.
oh yeah.
She knows I don't speak Spanish." And I'm just like,
Mm, not bilingual that one, eh?
tough break.
God dang. You know?
And
I
so
mean,
his whole life was ruined from that point forward.
well, it happens.
But
That's always the greatest. I love that. That is so funny. Like and especially like if you can actually witness it like in person, like just
yes,
you know what I mean? Like you're just kind of standing idly by, just like you said. You're like, give the head nod. It's like I'm not even gonna mention things. I'm not gonna say words. And apparently Weston thought the same thing. You know what I mean?
person thought the same thing. Oh well, you sold him out.
Oh well, he's okay.
It's all right. It was many years ago, but
Many,
it's all
many
right.
moons. He'll be fine.
It's all right.
He's over it now.
Oh well, he's married with kids. I think he'll be all right.
Oh yeah, he'll be fine.
Remember, his life was over that day.
Yeah. So I mean, R.I.P. Bud.
But that did get me to thinking
Yeah.
about maybe if it was like 3 or 4 years earlier, you know, if he really had that mumble mouth problem, what do you do? What
You
do
know,
you do?
well, I mean, that's the thing. I think everybody gets. What I
Yeah,
mean? Everybody
yeah.
has had a little case.
Of
of
course,
mumble mouth,
yes.
it's gonna happen.
You know what I said? I said, you make him a CD. You burn him a
Mm,
CD.
yeah.
That's the best
It's always,
language.
kind of the go-to thing back in the day.
Dude, I loved
You
burning
know.
CDs.
I mean, it started with like the mix. That was the thing.
Oh,
Way
yeah.
back.
Oh,
then,
yeah.
You know. That was
Well,
always.
when you could have, I mean, just remember
And it was a lot of work.
having two artists
Mhm.
like on the same cassette or the same CD, and it was just like, oh
Oh,
my god, you know.
exactly.
And we use that for communication in so many different ways. But it's funny that when that started, those CDs, I mean, they held 90 minutes of music. And I can just remember, if I was to make a CD for like a girl, I'm like, okay, I need to know who she's listening to. Like, who does she like at
Of
the
course.
time?
Yeah.
What's the number one hit? Is it Usher? Is it You Gotta Let It Burn,
Most likely, it was
Because
for a
I'm
while.
I'm gonna play that for her. I'm gonna let her know I'm here for you. You're burning, I'm here.
Exactly. There you go.
Right there. And as oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All the cheese.
All the.
But I remember having, you could get anywhere from 14 to maybe like 17 songs. And you would trade out like some of the long songs to get more
To get,
songs.
like, maybe a couple
more
more
on
there.
there.
Oh, of course.
And I loved finding the artists that I thought were going to communicate best for me at the time. I was a big Blink head, but I know I couldn't put them out there. Not
Right,
everybody
exactly.
relates to them. But you give that somebody that CD, they're gonna flip through it. They're gonna play it with their friends.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't put Nickelback on it at all.
At all.
At
No,
all.
never.
Never put them on.
No, it's never a safe bet
And you're
to
just
put Nickelback
praying,
on anything.
and you're praying that their friends like that CD. And
Mhm.
it's embarrassing too because that CD, it was a white blank top. So what did you do?
Well, you had to draw on it. You had to make designs or a cool logo. Everything.
And
You had to be creative.
yeah, and you'd memorize the songs. You'd be like number 15. You didn't need it on the front.
A real
What's that? Leaving it
was
blank?
no. I mean, honestly, it's like I don't even think that's the psycho. I think honestly, the psycho move was when you had the burnt CDs that had every song wrote on it.
I didn't like it.
I thought that was the craziest.
That's how they get stole.
Exactly.
You put too many good songs on there, and somebody's like, "It's not coming back."
And it takes all the fun out of it. The fun of a burnt CD, like that's why I always almost
That's
love
true.
the
Yes.
untitled burnt CDs, is because you would get
Yes.
them and it's like you would.
What am I in for?
Yeah, it's like what's on this, and then you put it in, and for me, you throw that thing in, you're all excited to hear it, and then a CD player would spit it back out at you, and you're like, oh what? It's like oh, and then you have to look at it and clean it, do the old, and then brush it off your shirt. Of course, do all that jazz. Then you'd finally get it to play, and you'd be like, oh, okay, this is a good song, this is a good song, and then boom, and you're like, oh, this is the whole reason I have this burnt CD. Because for me, yes, like burnt CDs were awesome, but it was like there was always the standalone on the CDs. It's like they were
always
all
one.
good. But
There's
it's like,
always one.
There's always one.
And there's always the one song you put on every CD.
I was getting ready to say that. It's like, and it's usually on every one of them.
Every one of them, you're just like, I gotta have that song.
You could always vibe to it though, because
Yeah.
it was, you know what I mean. It was just one of those things, and that was what was hilarious. But that was the fun of having the blank CD because you never knew what you were gonna get.
You never knew.
Exactly.
And just like that, we would trade CDs. You borrowed some of my CDs
Oh,
over
all
the
time.
summer.
Yeah.
Vice versa. I'm
Exactly.
pretty sure I borrowed like a Jason Aldean CD from you.
Yeah.
There's
Oh yeah.
all sorts of stuff. But then, you had your CD case, dangerously driving in the car, flipping through, trying to find it. And you could do it blindfold. You knew like page 3, section 4. It's like, that's,
Exactly.
there it is.
Oh yeah. It was like it was almost like the Spotify or the iTunes of back in the day. It's like you knew how many pages
How
to
many?
flip. You knew you could feel the CDs. And in mine, it's like I had like one of the longer cases, but it was one of those where it's like I knew even the CDs that I had doubled up.
Oh,
I would it's
dangerous.
very dangerous, But
Well, I think
I like
about
to live dangerous,
well, I think about those like scratching a CD. If you borrowed somebody's CD and you
Oh,
scratched it, I mean, you might as well
oh,
just skip school.
oh
Like,
yeah,
oh, they're sick.
oh
You
the
need to be sick so they didn't feel so bad
and and the
or
thing.
get so mad at you.
Oh, I know. And you'd always have to like come up with a story, be like, bro, listen, listen, dude. It wasn't me, man. I put it in a CD player and it exploded. It's gone forever. And they're just like, what? It's like it just exploded. As soon as I put it in, I don't know what happened.
You know, I was
You know?
handing it to somebody and a
Yeah.
dog just jumped up,
Yeah.
bit it. It broken into a million
It's
pieces. I'm so
man, I'm so
sorry.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It always
And they would be depressed, and you'd still have that scratch CD, and you'd still try to get it to work no
you would
matter
all the
what. You're
time.
just like, please, just
You would
please.
just pray that it'd be like, oh, just give me like a couple songs that would work. And then like what was hilarious because and we'll get to that later on. But
Yeah.
this little quick thing, talking on that point, is in my '90s, my red pickup,
Uh-huh.
the CD player it's so old. I mean, it was like an OG first CD player cut.
V1.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the face
yeah.
comes off. I mean, it was legit back in the day. But the funny thing is, it's like I actually remember I had a a burnt CD in there that had a song that it would skip on. And it was just coming up to that point in the song. And like I would fast forward it through it to just get through the skip.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody did that.
Yeah, that was
You
a
know what I mean?
trick. It was
Yeah,
the, it
I
was
mean,
the trick
you
of
would
it.
do that to cassettes because there would be a
Little
a little messed up or a crease,
faded, like a faded spot in it, maybe
faded
too.
or creased if it
Yeah.
had been messed up before.
Yeah.
And you could always just fast forward through that a lot of times. Well, I remember I was driving and it was just getting ready to get up on that spot, and I was getting ready to fast forward it, and I hit a bump. Now, if you've ever had the old school CD players in your vehicles, when you hit a bump, it created a skip. And I
Oh,
mean, and it was
it
amazing. On a gravel road, it's a motherfucking remix.
It's a
now.
remix.
All
That's
the
what I was gonna
time.
say. That's the remix.
It was hilarious, but it skipped over the bad part. I'm like, hey, all right, But it's like that kind of lucky shit would happen every now and then.
God, can you imagine?
Oh, I
The
miss those
worst
days.
is when you had a skip, like if you hit a pothole and you heard it,
Mhm.
you'd be more worried about that CD than your car. You'd be
Oh,
like, fuck
yeah.
the car.
Exactly.
It's like, is my CD okay?
Oh yeah.
Fucking Billy, take the wheel.
Exactly. You just immediately. It's like I have hit potholes or like hit bumps or hit rocks or shit hard enough to where the CD player actually spit the CD back out at you.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, and you're just like, ooh. It's like
Oh.
that's never a good sign.
Do you remember your first CD?
My very very
Very
first
first
CD.
CD?
I do. My very first CD that I remember. Of course, I didn't buy it. But I begged my grandma to buy it. Like say, and I can remember the day. But it was a Sunday. We had just got done at church. Went to California. Went and ate at Knick Knack. Had to get lunch. And at this time, it was called Mida.
Oh yeah.
Mida.
Hey, Matt.
Good old store.
I used to get comic books from there when I was a kid.
Oh,
Loved it.
I used to get all of my baseball cards, comic books. I mean, CDs.
That was the only reason I wanted to go there. When my mom's like, "You want to go
Oh,
there?" I'm like, "I just want the
that
comic
place was
books."
so awesome. You
Yeah.
know. But I mean, had nothing that cool, but it always had games,
Yes.
CDs,
Yeah.
things like that. So that was always pretty cool. But I remember I was looking at the CDs that day, and Grandma went and kind of shopped, and I was like, I'm just gonna hang out here at the electronics, look at the games, shit like that. And I remember I saw it, and I was like, the crazy thing is, it's like I mean, this hasn't been like that's. I mean, it's been a long time ago, but it wasn't
It
like
is and
crazy.
isn't. When you think 20 years, maybe
Exactly.
it's like that's not well. And even then, it's probably before like 15, 16 years, maybe.
Most likely. But it was audio. It was audio, and it was amazing. I absolutely. I mean, that's what made me fall in love with that band because it was one of those where I had heard of them on the radio.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure. And they were great.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
they had
rock music
exactly.
was great.
And
From
and she had to like think about it because she's like, oh, and she saw the cover and it was like blue and had like that weird flame on it, and she's like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's just a really good band. And she's like, well, kind of music? I'm just like, oh, rock and roll. And she's like, it's
Mm.
not like out of control. I'm like, no, not at
It's not like
all.
your Kiss or
No,
yeah.
no.
But isn't that crazy that rock and roll? I mean, it was great in the '80s, '90s, early 2000s, and then it's just like as of late,
Yeah,
just slowly starting to kind of fall back off. And I miss it. I miss that good
I know.
rock.
I mean, that's the worst thing. It's like even like listening to the radio and stuff now. I remember when we had so many just
Great stations,
awesome rock
and you had
stations,
all six though. You had your backup six.
and like your pop stations would still play some of those rock songs
Mm.
all the time. It was amazing.
Maybe a Hinder,
Oh,
yeah,
of course. And I mean,
of course.
Every,
Look, we hate on
everywhere.
them, but it was just because it was that overplayed.
I mean,
To be fair,
they
but they
murdered.
but
those
act
songs.
like you don't know the words.
Exactly. We've all seen the memes. We've all seen the gifs or gifs or
Look
whatever.
at this fool.
Exactly. Or like they hear their neighbor playing it, they're just like, yeah, and then they like walk away and they're singing it. It's like exactly.
I
You know.
my first CD was an awful CD for me.
Mhm.
It was the Marshall Mathers LP,
Ooh.
and I was in fourth grade.
Wow. Well, of course. Yeah.
That's part of the reason. If you listen to our last podcast when we were talking about the first time you saw me, I had frosted tips in school because I became a huge fan. That's my first CD, man. And I should not have listened to it at all. My dad, well, he had met my mom at that time, and we were out, and he wanted to get in our good graces. You get in the kids' good graces.
Well, of course.
So, and I
It
understand.
all meshes.
Yeah.
So
So he didn't care what
whatever
CD we
makes it
got.
more cohesive.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I don't want to think about that.
how it all fits together.
My sister got Nellie's Country Grammar.
Oh yeah.
So we had both those CDs. Oh yeah, Nelly was huge, especially in Missouri.
Oh,
In Missouri,
of course.
I remember watching him on the news and talking about how controversial that CD was.
Well, of course.
Like they were just
But
like,
he was.
how-
Hey, they were talking about
they're talking about
it.
him.
Exactly. He was just getting bigger by the moment.
So he let us get those two CDs, and from then I was just kind of sold in the CD game. And they weren't cheap; they were like $20 back then.
Right.
You
Oh,
know,
dude.
back
No, yeah, they
then.
were high. Yeah.
Yeah, CDs weren't cheap.
No.
And I was so excited. So I started thinking about what other CDs would I want in the future. Led up to that, I know probably the most oddest pick I had was Usher's 8701 CD, 2001 CD. That had it. You Got It Bad on there. I mean, and that song,
That song alone.
like a year
I
of
mean,
just dominance. Everybody loved that song.
if I hear it,
Oh, it's still
I
good.
mean, I'm not gonna turn.
I
I'm
don't
not gonna turn
understand
away
how
from it.
we got tired of Nickelback when you heard that song, and it's just like I could still let it go every time.
Every time.
So
It doesn't get old. You know.
it's beautiful.
But
music.
it's like.
But we don't have a lot of R&B either.
But if I hear like the first, 3/4 of a second Nickelback song, I'm already turning.
You're through with
I'm
standing in
done.
line.
I'm already over it. It's over. I'm done. I've had people go, "You didn't want to listen to that?" I'm like, "I already did." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "I listened to almost a second of it. That was enough."
And
Like,
my whole
jeez.
head played the whole thing.
Exactly. It's like I still hate it right now. It's like we're not even listening to it. But I know every word.
Music was such a beautiful thing for us. It'd get you through so much. It would
Oh,
get you
man.
through heartbreak. You had a story you told me a while back.
Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
that story again. Tell me that story.
Yeah.
And try not to say names this time.
Oh, I'll fuck up.
It's so funny though, because it was.
I know yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't say that. Don't say that. We don't want to get it that close. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Yeah. Got it.
Pieces fit together way too well for that.
Small town,
Very. Keyword small. Anyways. So back in the day, working at Lutz's, like everyone did. It was the place to work in Tipton.
We had our days there. We have some stories from there too, but we'll get on those another day.
Yeah, that's
Those
a
are
whole
great
different-
stories.
yeah. We'll cut open that later. And but
Jesus.
oh man. But anyways, working with a kid, and of course, we know who he's talking to, and it's one of those things where it's like he's friendly, she's too friendly, maybe lead him on a little bit, there's always a chance of that at this time, and at the ages we all were, to be
Mhm.
fair now, to be fair, because like that,
You
I mean, I was just driving
you know what it is. It was puppy dog love.
always.
Is
Of
that
course.
real puppy dog
Oh
love?
yeah, but oh man, and I remember him just down, man, just down and out. I was like, working with this kid is almost miserable because he's sad, he's depressed, he's like, he's rejected, because I mean that's what happened. He pushed his luck a little bit and got maybe a little too comfortable, and
She just had to say,
she
"Hey,
had to say,
like,
hey, it's like we're friends,
mhm,
and
but
that's
that's
it,
it.
and
Sorry."
that broke his heart. I mean, of course, you know what I
Mm,
mean, because
mm.
in his head,
And we all know what that's like. Disappointment,
oh
man. And
man,
it's
I
a,
felt heartbroken
and it,
for him,
and at
you
that age
know.
with puberty going on,
Oh,
it's just
exactly.
like you don't know.
And the craziest thing is like that. I remember I had the CD in the truck. It had not been out that long.
Because we both got it to get together, right?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, no.
That was a different one.
That was cardiology.
Yeah,
That was
yeah, that's
cardiology.
college. But
And
you got but there was two versions of the CD. You bought the other version because the last song was different.
that was the first time that we did, because see, that was the Chronicles of Life and Death.
Mm,
You got Death, or you got, was it Death? And
yeah,
I
I
got
got
Life.
deaf.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm
You got the
emo,
dark
son.
one. I got the light one. Yeah.
I had to have my I had to have
Exactly.
my
Well,
emo
my grandma had
moments.
to buy mine, so the one that said death was probably not going to work,
She's like, absolutely not.
Exactly. But uh but it was is it the Morning Revival?
It probably is, man.
It's that
We
it's
listen to those songs so much.
if you don't know what we're talking about, it's Good Charlotte, by the
Good
way.
Charlotte. Yeah. Love
But
them.
they have a song called Break Apart Her Heart. And I told him, I was like, listen, bud," I was like, when we get off work, because I had to take him home. He couldn't even drive. And I'm just driving. You know what I mean? It was one of those where I'm like, I got a song you need to listen to. And I'm like, and I guarantee this this kid, he wasn't listening to Good Charlotte.
Oh no,
You know what I'm
no.
saying? It's not that he was, you know what I mean? It's just Good Charlotte was
You either were in it or you weren't.
exactly.
That's
It
it. It's
wasn't for
like
everybody.
I mean, Warped Tour style music.
Exactly. And I mean, that's kind of what we love.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That was
grew
the
up
music.
on it.
Yeah, it's like we
Absolutely.
loved all of that. But I remember I played him that song. And I mean, I remember kind of looking over at him, and I was just like, like, is he listening? Is he, what's he thinking? And it's like, you could like see the in the
Oh
moonlight,
no,
and it's like, oh, it's hitting home. It's hitting home. And yeah,
I hate songs that make
oh, dude.
because there's always trigger songs.
And it's not a song that'll make you cry.
No,
Like
but
it's like
but
it's
for
kind
his
of an
moment,
upbeat song and shit, but
for his moment,
exactly.
the words were cutting.
The words were just
Driving
oh
home.
man. Yeah.
And basically, the song is about if you want to keep a girl for as long as she lives, you got to break apart her heart.
Exactly.
And he was just like, because he was just almost too nice of a dude. I hate to say it,
Yeah.
but at the time, which
Yeah.
is not a bad thing. Don't
No,
let's
no.
say it's a bad thing. But at the time, I mean,
I mean, it all works. He's
it,
doing,
oh,
he's fine. He's doing great. But yeah, oh yeah, at that time. But,
do you have any songs? Like I can tell you,
it's I was gonna bring that up, because it actually got me rethinking this. Because you asked like, what was the first CD?
Yeah.
Now the first one that pops in my head was the Audio, because that one stands out. Because
great CD.
well, I still have it. I mean, I still own that CD, and like that was such a huge moment. I love that CD. It was one of my
Yeah.
favorite bands. I love Chris Cornell. I mean,
Mhm,
come on, we all know that. But uh, I mean, if I had to say, probably what was the first one,
mhm.
honestly, and I had it, and it was crazy, and I had it forever, and I have no idea where it would have went, but it was Now One. Now
Now,
that's what we call music. And this is crazy.
well,
I
they
had
were,
to look this up because I was like, how old would I have been? I'm like, what year did this come out?
yeah.
This is a crazy ass fact for everybody, and I guarantee you, no one knows this shit. Did you realize that now, that's what I call music? Everyone knows these CDs. If you're
Can I guess?
how old it is
Can I guess the year?
of mine of Now One,
Yeah, can I guess it?
yeah, guess it.
I mean, and this is just because you already kind of like, oh, it's back there.
It's back there.
98?
98.
98. I was right.
98.
Holy
Nice job.
Thanks,
Good
man.
guess. But yes. Now, this is
That's
this is
crazy.
but did you know that Now was in the UK? That's where it started
Really?
in 80.
So they were basically getting mixed CDs way before America.
way before.
Wow, we suck.
Isn't that some horseshit?
That's some
I know.
bullshit.
I wasn't.
And
very
we were
happy
just
with it.
talking about like
No.
what made
No.
those CDs popular. It's like, well, if you had a CD with multiple songs
Oh.
of all the hits, and that's what they made their killing on.
I have more. That's
Oh.
not
Oh,
even.
let it
That's
ride.
not even the
Let
bad
it
yet.
ride.
No. Oh man.
Oh, tell me.
And don't. And here's the thing.
Someone did some research.
Ireland also had it in '80. Yeah. In '84, South Africa was blessed with Now That's What I Call Music. In '95, John, Mexico was blessed with Now That's What I Call Music. In '97, New Zealand. And then in '98, it took a long time for that to get here. That's crazy to me. But you know the craziest is that New Zealand got it in '97, but Australia didn't get it until '02. Now,
Good.
okay, you know what I mean? But on that '98 CD, could you? I mean, here's the thing: there was so many good tunes, but there was four that really stood out. Okay,
Okay.
that I still can
Okay.
remember this.
I can only think of maybe one. Or
Okay.
two. I can think of two.
All right,
And sadly,
okay.
they're probably not on the list.
Do you want me to give you a hint? That way you
Yeah.
can just maybe guess the song.
Yeah, give me some.
Okay. All right. We'll make it. I'll give you a real easy one.
Okay.
Just to get this going. Casey and JoJo.
Oh, all my life.
Exactly.
All my life. First, actually, funny thing
I
about
mean,
that.
come on. If you
First
couldn't have
song I
guessed
ever
that.
danced to at a city dance. Seventh grade city dance or 7th and 8th grade.
I think so. Yeah.
So
yeah. They were
7th grade.
Mhm.
Can remember the girl. Huge crush on the girl for a
Mm.
long time,
Yeah.
but absolutely remember. And I was so nervous about spinning too fast that I think she kind of corrected me a little bit. It's like, hey,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. Oh, of
because
course. Yeah.
my palms are sweaty. I mean,
Well, of
I am just
course.
like, oh my god, I about put my arms like around her, like
Mhm.
shoulders, like
Exactly, like
where
you
do
were gonna
I-
hold
like,
up
I didn't
here.
know. I had to do that for one dance because I was dating a girl. And it was
Leave room
all,
for Jesus.
yeah. But so Casey and JoJo. What
Yes,
else you got
man.
for me? Anything?
Oh man. All right. I'll give you one more. We'll make another easy one here.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
This ought to be a good one. If you
Okay.
guess. Backstreet Boys. What song? What song could that be? '98.
It's not Backstreet Boys are back. Like, it's not
Mm-mm.
that one because that was on a second CD.
Yep.
Oh
Man,
man.
that came just a little bit later.
Oh. Is it As Long As You Love Me?
It is.
Oh my god!
Attaboy! Attaboy. It is though, which is crazy. It is.
The only other ones that I could think of. Hit me one more time, Britney Spears or whatever. It wasn't on there. Okay, maybe Spice Girls because
There
Backstreet
was a
Boys.
Spice Girls song. on
I
there.
would say maybe like If You Want to Be My Lover because Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls.
Yeah,
I mean that
there
was the
was
thing.
there was a Spice Girls song on there, but I don't think it was.
Tell You
that
What I
one.
Want.
It wasn't Tell You What I Want. It might.
Might have to look that one
Ooh,
up.
That we might.
This
have,
is where we need
might
our
have to-
computer guy
Yeah,
to
we
be
need,
looking up this list for us.
Exactly. Give it the goog. But no, but these two. So we have a mutual friend, and I mean we could probably simplify it down.
Okay.
And
Love it.
yeah, she will appreciate this one. But it was Bop by Hanson. You remember that? That good old tune? Oh man, that was huge.
I know one. LFO. What's that song?
Ooh.
Chinese food makes me sick, and I think it's fly. When the girls out,
Yeah.
Girls
Oh,
of the Summer, maybe I don't know. Yeah, but that one
might have been. I don't remember it, but it might have been. I'm sure it was. We'll have to
had
check
Bob
that too.
Handsome. Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
the
yeah.
biggest one, I know. I know. We have just said Bop, which was massive.
Calm down.
As Long As You Love Me by Backstreet Boys, which I mean,
and we know how big they were.
we know how big they were, you know. And then All My Life by Casey and JoJo. I mean, come on.
Is it another boy
instant
band?
clack. It is not a boy band. Actually,
It's not in sync.
It is not in sync. No, it's actually it's more famous than that probably. The band by the name of Aqua, the sang Barbie Girl. Boom.
Barbie Girl
98.
made it on.
Barbie Girl.
Still
Of
going
all-
strong.
Still going strong.
Still
to
going
this
strong.
day. That is the craziest shit. You know what I mean? I can't hardly even believe that.
That song was on there.
It's hard for me to believe that all of these songs are that old. 98. 98?
Yeah, man. But you think about it, it's like
That's
what I was saying. It's
crazy.
like
I mean, we were 7, 8 years old, man.
CDs were around for maybe a good 10 years. And then it's,
They were.
once we got to be about late sophomores, that's when the iPod or the phone got the music.
players.
MP3 players.
Man, yeah. Because that's what I had. Everybody, I was a poor kid, so I didn't have the iPod. You know, we had kids that had the iPods, and they came out with the Nanos and stuff, and I still had the old school MP3.
Apple Music started coming out, so people would
Oh,
buy
man.
the songs, put it on the
Yeah.
phone and stuff. That's when that all started.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
That is too
But yeah, it was crazy. That's when it all kind of took a turn. It was like when we got into high school. I mean, that's really when that was, you know, CDs were becoming a thing of the past. Like nobody, everybody started making playlists online. You know, I mean, that's how it was. You know, but the OGs still had the CDs in the car. You know
Oh,
what
I
mean?
had my
felt-
CDs.
and then a lot of kids too had it wasn't like the. I mean, of course there was like FM transmitters still then too that would plug in. aux
Oh,
cord.
yeah.
But the tape player that had the aux cord on it,
Mm-hmm.
that
yeah.
one was cool.
Well,
That's some-
here's the thing.
That's some old school
you could
shit
have,
there now.
You could have a piece of shit car.
oh, you
but
could
it,
have
but
a
it,
pile of
but if
monkey
it has a
shit.
CD player, it's like, you're
You-
gonna
yeah.
steal somebody's uncle's beer,
Oh, dude.
and you and whoever are gonna go find a gravel road.
yeah.
Not saying we ever did this, just
No,
but
no, we were good.
and you're gonna cruising. You're just gonna cruise. You're not trying to get drunk.
No.
You're just
no.
vibing because there's not that small. That's what you do on a small town country. You know.
I mean,
And,
what do you, yeah, what the hell else are you
yeah,
That's all we could do.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Be smart. Don't be fucking flying a million miles down. Just have a little fun.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that was kind of the good thing about a lot of us. I mean, yeah, just like I said last time, like, we did some wild shit, but we weren't
No,
so reckless.
no,
We
I don't
didn't
feel that we
vandalize
were.
shit. We didn't do
No.
nothing like that. It's like, man, we were actually really good kids, you know, all of us. You know, that whole high school group was actually pretty decent there, you know, for a few
Yeah.
years. It was actually not too
There's
bad.
a few years we partied pretty hard too. A lot of stories.
But I remember because it was you was talking about how how we would borrow CDs.
Yeah.
Back and forth. It's like I remember because I had the Jason Aldean CD.
Mm.
It was his it was the first one.
Mm.
Yeah, that was in 05,
Country was country,
2005.
and that was massive too.
Huge,
Huge.
huge.
Can I ask you something? What? Well, I'll tell you mine first, just
Alright.
because it's kind of a sensitive one
Okay.
about those songs that make you cry.
Mm.
It's like, so do you have? My question was going to be, do you have any trigger songs about that? And I was like, so for me, I do have some.
Mhm.
I have a couple, and it's not. Here's the thing: it's not necessarily because I'm sad. I don't think that after this time period, I'm ever going to be like really, really, really sad about certain things
Mhm.
like that. But some of these are just they make me happy tears in a weird way.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you.
You know
there.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah.
And the first one by your favorite artist, okay, is Kenny Chesney. And here's the thing: it's "Baby You Saved Me," that one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I have a weird.
I don't hate all Kenny Chesney. I mean,
a
I don't
weird-
even hate Kenny Chesney. It was just that was another one that just got way overplayed.
Oh, he was big then too, though. You gotta admit it. Those CDs.
Was
were,
he a big star?
Yes,
Son of
absolutely.
a-
But that song, a lot of people would go like, "Oh, they associate it with like a girl they like and stuff like
Yeah.
that."
Oh.
For me, it's the exact opposite. I don't
Mhm.
listen to a ton of music with my mom, but that song, it always makes me reflect to her. You know, it's like because a parent, kind of like that, it's like they're there for you.
Right.
Something's going bad, they're there. They're there to save you. They're there to,
Yeah.
you know, when you're going hectic, they kind of keep you in line.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I listened to that song with her, and the whole time while I was listening to her, I was just looking at her. I was like, man, like that is you.
Mhm.
That is you
Yeah.
for me. And so that one always got me for her. So
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
I get a little emotional with that one.
Oh,
The,
for sure.
the other one,
Okay.
absolutely stupid, but it's actually the Luke Combs song. Even when I'm leaving,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's oh man.
and that's a great song. But what kills me is the second verse. That's the one that gets me because he talks about him getting ready to deploy, and his dad, comes over and he has him by the neck, and
Mhm.
he's talking to him. And back when I deployed, back in 2013, I came home for maybe a week to see some people, and you know what type of deployment I was going on.
Mhm.
It's it was one of those where you might have already had a letter written before you ever leave home, or and that's 9 months. People don't necessarily get it, but in my I went to go see my dad, and we're hanging out. He was just like, you know, my father was in the military. He never wanted me to go into service necessarily. And he's just like, I don't want you ever to deploy. And he's like, I never got it because he was a ranger and he had to do that stuff. So, and he's like, but now that I'm a father, he's like, I get it. And he's like, I just pray for your safety. I'm worried for you, concerned. And he did the same thing. He had me by the neck. And he was just talking to me about it. Then we gave a big hug. And that's the last time I saw him before I got back from overseas. So every time I hear that
Oh
verse,
yeah.
it takes me to that very personal moment that I had with him.
Mhm.
And it's a beautiful thing. Like I said, it can make me,
Oh, but
but it's for good reasons.
exactly.
And yeah, those are probably my.
Really? Yeah, I'd say really are. Mine too, for sure. And here's the thing. Like, sadly, I probably have a lot of them. Like, there's a lot of songs that can get me emotional, but it depends on kind of the situation or how I'm feeling, kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure, for
And
sure.
these songs are the same way, but these two are the first that really kind of popped in my head and things like that. I was looking to because there was another one too, but honestly, yeah, the first one would have to be "Go Rest High on That Mountain" by Vince Gill.
Okay,
That one, yeah,
beautiful.
that hits home. That one, that's a
What?
beautiful song.
Tell me what.
Well, my very first memory of that song was actually whenever, and I think I would have been, and that's the worst thing I can't hardly remember now. But I think I was 8. I was either 7 or 8 years old, but that's when my grandpa died. That song, that was the song. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those where it's like that's always stuck with me. And it was one of those where it's like it wasn't the song that was played for my brother, but it's one that I still associate with him too.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
You know,
And
it's
it's
just
just kind of like wishing you were with
exactly, and it's such a
him.
beautiful song too. You know, because it works. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like go rest down that mountain. Done your work on earth is done. You know, it's like that's awesome. You know, but the next one, I mean, and it's whatever. It's the dance by my boy G. You know, yeah, exactly. But that one for sure. You know, depends on the situation. Like I can listen to
Mhm.
it and be absolutely fine. But then there's times like if I'm just like by myself and all of a sudden it comes on and I'm thinking about different things, yeah, it might bring some emotion. For sure. For sure. You know?
I think a lot of people, and this is going to be kind of one of them, they're going to be like,
Mhm.
Kid Rock. Only God knows why.
Well, of course,
I mean,
it's a good one.
it
It's a
is like
beautiful
it's a
song.
beautiful
It's a
song.
beautiful song.
Uh,
But and that's the beautiful thing about music is that it brings out emotion. Because it's one of those things, and they say it about music all the time. It's like, especially like at a concert, it's like there is, say if there's 10,000 people at a concert or
Yeah,
whatever, it's
yeah,
like there are 10,000 people listeting to the same song, but for 10,000 different reasons.
yeah.
And
That's
it's
beautiful.
10,000
That's
different reasons
beautiful.
that they
Yeah,
love that music, and it's like, that is
it brought them all
amazing.
together. Doesn't matter color.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter like the
No,
race.
music
Music,
brings
baby.
people together. It's crazy. It's like, I feel like there's always like neutral ground. You know what I mean? When it comes to like music, it's like you don't have to like, certain things about people or, how they are or how they choose to live their lives or whatever. But then again, it's like, but then you find yourself like at the gym or something, and like say if you
Well,
like take your headphones off and like they're playing some goofy ass song, but you're like vibing to it, and you'll see somebody
well,
that'll see you,
that's what I was gonna say.
and like you're both just like vibing,
You
like it's a
just
good
you
time.
just said you go. Oh, there's 10,000 people there for 10,000 different reasons. Beautiful statement. And then you have those other songs. We got a buddy at work, ish.
Oh yeah.
And I remember what he said. He's like,
Oh
"What
dude.
song was it? Eye of the Tiger." He's
No,
like,
or yeah,
"Yeah."
that one.
He's
Welcome to the
Welcome to the
Jungle.
Jungle. But those songs, everybody hears them, and They do
Well, all you
together. They're pumped
yeah,
up.
well, all we had to do was just mention the name of the song, and he's like, "Football brings me right back," storming the field and stuff, and it's like, "Yeah, man," of course.
And you'll
It's
remember that
like,
forever.
oh,
There's songs that
forever.
you'll remember riding around with a
Oh,
girl
yeah.
or something. You'd be like, oh, and or just being with your friends at a party the first time it came out. There's so many different ones. Little FM Static.
Oh, man.
You know,
Oh, of course. Wow. But yeah, man, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about music. Yeah, it makes you feel all kinds of things. It's wild. It's like it's like music can just get somebody
well, the best
crazy.
thing for us
It's like
was
watch a concert. It's like a heavy rock concert where like they have them mosh pits and shit. It's like that music is literally making them people go insane. They lose their shit. It's like, yeah,
because they're doing it right. I
exactly.
can't go
I
to
watch that and I'm like, that's
if,
crazy. I'm glad I'm not in the middle of that, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck
if I
yeah.
go to a concert and these people aren't uppity, I get so tired. It's like if I'm
Exactly.
gonna go and I'm
You're there to dance and fucking
scream,
scream,
sing the
clap,
song.
sing. It's
We
like that is what you want. It's like if you're going to a concert, it's like, don't you want to be the crowd that you see in the music videos? Don't you? You know what I mean? Like
exactly
when you see a crowd just go
because you
crazy.
watch them once and then they're just not singing, and you're just like,
Oh,
man, it could be so much better if they did. And it's like, well,
exactly,
that's you. Fucking do it.
exactly. It's like it's a concert. It's like, do you really want to hear echoes? It's like a
Mhm.
bad comedy stand-up skit. Like it's awkward for
Well,
everybody.
sadly,
You
that's where
know?
like I hate to say it, but the whole cell phones at a put them fucking down. Put them
Exactly,
down
dude.
because that's the problem with everybody. They're trying to record that they're there. It's like get your picture, get
Exactly.
one song.
And
After that, put it away.
enjoy it. Watch it with your eyes.
Have
Be in the moment.
it's
It's like no one gives a shit. And
well.
it's also one of the things
That's why
too.
they'll be like, okay, everybody, it's your part. And he puts the mic out, and you hear nothing, and everybody's like holding their phones, like, well, if I sing, they're gonna hear my voice, and I
Exactly.
can't do that. Put your fucking throw your phone over your shoulder and have some fun.
See, man, I don't know, man. I guess I'm just like old enough where it's like I don't get it. I'm not in it.
Two of the best concerts I've been
Mm.
to. One was right when I got out of the military. Was Third Eye Blind. Okay. Got front row basically. I mean, I'm right at the gate,
Right.
there with a really good friend of mine, Erin, and she got a little tipsy. Didn't make it to the. She went there just for them.
Didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
Oh, ain't that the worst?
Didn't make it.
Love it.
And
Hell yeah.
but I was front row. Next thing you
That's
know, they're
fucking
passing
good.
around this cigarette that smelled really good
Oh yeah.
at that time. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it had this
Did you get it from
unique.
the right pocket or the left pocket?
Oh, left pocket.
Oh well, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
if they're gonna offer.
And so I took a couple hits off the cigarette, and
Yeah.
I'm having a blast.
Well, of course.
And that concert was amazing. Every one of their songs sounded amazing. The other one, and I'm gonna go on a little tantrum on this next one.
Mm.
The guy's probably gonna remember. I really don't
He'll be fine.
care. Was Brother Osborne,
Oh yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
it was one of their birthdays. This was up in Columbia. I had a blast.
Was it the Blue Note?
Nope, it was a street concert.
Ooh.
So you're outside.
Hell yeah.
I moved forward, got a good spot to watch most of the concert. Sadly, it's kind of packed, and they're not the hippest crowd ever.
Right.
Same thing. They're not always into it, whatever. But the dude's birthday, and they're like, "Let it rip, dude!" And he plays like in the middle of a song, "Ain't My Fault" or whatever. He plays like a 6-minute
Solo.
solo,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you right now, fucking banging. I'm just like sitting there like, yes, brother,
Right.
all day long. Just and I mean, and then they go right back into the end of the song after 6 minutes. And
I love when they do that.
somebody there said, I damn near ruined that song. And I was like, no, that right there, sir, was fucking music.
Yeah.
That was fucking music. Did you open your ears and take a moment? It's like, can you get up there and imagine how hard it would be to freestyle for 6 minutes and make it sound fucking epic?
I guess, and trust me, I am 100% with you on that because it's one of those where it's like I love that. It's why I'm there. So I pay money to watch it. It's like entertain me. It's like yes, I know your music, but it's like, but I want to see it. It's like I want to see it. It's like let me feel this. because like that, it's like that's what you need to have. You know what I mean? It's like we all have emotions and feelings that we can just listen to. As far as like in our car or just in our headphones at
Yeah.
the gym. It's like we can do all that, but it's like when you're there and they're performing live in front of you,
Mhm.
it's different. It's different. You know what I mean? It's like you can kind of just let go. But I mean, that's where you had like a really good point too of just like put your phones away.
Put them away.
Literally, it's like guys, it's like seriously, like just yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, oh, just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Just like he said, get your picture.
Get your little video of
Yeah.
the one song you
But
might like.
the
But
one
after
thing that I
that,
always hated was and this drives me nuts. And so many people do it. It's like seriously, it's ridiculous. But it's the recording the concert on Snapchat.
because you got to listen to the.
Oh yeah,
The whole time.
and yeah, and they're just recording it. But it's just
A continuous stream.
yeah, it's like you go to their story and it's like 3 hours long. It's like what? It's like literally just held their phone.
It's like
up
after the
the
first
whole
one.
time.
After the first one, they all look the same. Sorry.
Exactly.
That's why I said get your
No.
one. Put the name of the band. Everybody's gonna be like, "That's awesome.
Yeah,
You're
they're
there."
like, hey, good for you.
and
That's
then
cool that
put
you're
it
there.
away.
It's nuts. Like there is no one. I don't feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like I feel like there's no one that's sitting there being like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this whole fucking
Well,
thing
we were
that
watching.
this jackass just recorded and put on online for everybody." It's like what? What do you mean? Oh, come on.
We were watching like Mumford and Sons concerts. I mean, that was beautiful. Music
Yeah.
again, music. We instantly we get to a song and you can just hear them take off,
Yeah.
and you're just like, "Oh my
Oh, dude.
god!" And the crowd was into that one.
And that's
dancing.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing because I mean, the crowd made that amazing. I mean, yeah, that is such a good concert. If you ever get a chance, seriously, it's on YouTube. But type in Mumford and Sons live at Red Rocks.
Live at Red Rocks.
Wow.
Beautiful concert.
Yeah, it's like it's the place that they filmed the "I Will Wait" music video and things like that. But I mean,
The opener was just
Lover's Eyes, man.
that's
Oh, it's
spicy, baby.
oh.
Loved it.
so good, so good. I'm not how it all looked. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but damn, I love that. That is so cool. We're gonna have I've always wanted to see Big Head Todd and the Monsters.
What?
there.
I got a
For my
question.
old school fans, Big Head Todd and the Monsters.
I got one for you.
Go for it.
What instrument? If you had to pick.
Well, if I
instrument?
had to pick what instrument,
Yeah, if you could learn maybe two. Let's say two. We'll make it. What would it be?
All right. Sounds goofy because I mean, but it's just one of those where it's like it's because it's just nostalgia for me. But it's like I would honestly something like a piano. I wish I knew how to play piano. I think being able to play a piano would be kind of cool. But honestly, like for me, I would like to keep it simple. It's like I just really wish I knew like how to play like a guitar. Something simple. That you could just kind of bust out. And just be like, oh, it's getting boring here. Let me, actually do something like that. But no, man, I never was into it whenever I was little. It's like now it's like I feel like I don't have the patience for it.
I'll
You
definitely
know?
tell you my two, but it'll lead into if I had to pick more of a classical, I'll go there too. I'm with you with the guitar. I think everybody kind of wants that guitar phase. It's beautiful. You can make
Yeah.
so many different
And
things.
then
I learned a little
you can
bit.
associate it with bass. And then,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. It's like you can utilize that knowledge to play other instruments.
Absolutely.
Dave Grohl.
Did the whole Foo Fighters
Yeah, I mean, here's
album, the first one
by himself.
by himself.
And here's the thing, and he can't even read music.
Isn't that
He learned
It's mind-boggling.
He learned drums by having sticks and beating them on pillows.
hmm
He said when he first started drumming, he would hold the sticks back. He didn't even know how to hold the stick. He's like, I'd hold them backwards.
And now to this day, like
now
you
it-
telling me that, it's like it doesn't surprise me. He's that great.
I mean,
He is that great.
and here's the thing: there is a song, and it is a song that he did in, I think it was 2018, and you'll find it's on Spotify, it's everywhere, but it's called Play. It's
Mhm.
23 minutes long,
I'd listen.
and he plays
Beautiful.
every instrument in it. He plays every single one of them, and he did every recording a full 23 minutes for every instrument separately, and then he put it into a music video. It's online. You can watch it. It is insane. It's one of the
That's
coolest things ever.
pure talent. You
Oh,
know what I would? The drums were my second, but that's same. It's just like, man, there's appeal there.
well, and like
There's
that,
appeal there.
Dave Grohl, he always said how he learned to play guitar was basically because he knew he's like he would associate like the different strings and things like that with like like the cymbals and then the bass and things like that for the drums.
I
You know,
think I think when if I had to pick a third one, and the only reason I would pick it if I like had to go to a different type of uh, classic or old school or whatever, it's like I feel like there's one instrument that people always forget about. And then a song comes out and has it, and you just remember how great it
saxophone.
is. Close.
Okay, hang on. Trumpet. I don't know
Violin.
what. Ooh, a violin.
I mean,
Yeah.
saxophone. I agree with you. I get that, but something about a violin
Oh no, violins are
when
beautiful.
I mean,
Like a violin though, not a fiddle.
not a fiddle, a
A
violin, because
violin.
a violin can go rock,
Yep.
it can go pop, it can go country.
Mhm.
I mean, it fits all of them,
It does.
and people forget that. And it's
It
like,
works. It just works.
and to me, it's like that might be one of the most underrated and underutilized instruments.
Could be, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could see that. For sure. You know another one too that if I would, it's kind of on the same piano thing, but it's like an organ. I'd love to learn how to play that. My grandma could do that. She would do that every now and then at church. Just every once in a while, just get a wild hair, and they'd be like, "Hey, Linda, do you want to play the organ?" She'd be like, "Yep." And she would go there like twice that week, like the week before that Sunday, and practice a little bit, kind of get a rhythm,
Get a little touch
Well,
up.
I mean, there's like, you ever seen one of them things? I mean, you
Oh,
got the different
it's
rows of keys. You got
unbelievable.
like 9 pedals. It's like what? And I mean, and she was just, I mean, you just read the book. I mean, she'd be on both sides, and her feet would just be a going, and she was playing, and she'd never even have to think about it. She's like, I mean, she literally says she's like, oh, it's like riding a bike. She's like, as soon as you get on there, she's like, it's muscle memory. You know exactly what to do. And she never like she tried to teach me a little bit on how to play the piano because she could play piano too, obviously. But I just never. It was just I could play like
My
Twinkle Twinkle
mom.
Little Star for a little
I
bit.
mean, my mom wanted me to play the saxophone, and I'm sorry. One, I'm dyslexic. Music was a blur to me at that point, as far as like looking at the sheets and stuff. But I
Yeah,
felt like if you would have gave me a guitar, I might have made an effort, and it's partly my fault for not. You know what I mean?
I get
But
that.
I just like to me, I was so rambunctious to that degree, to
Yeah,
where I was just like, man, I don't want a saxophone. It's like I want the badass. I was watching All American Rejects doing the swing, 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 and they're just
well, that's what
rocking
I'm
their body.
saying.
They're just going to
Yeah.
town, and then to me, I'm like, yeah, like let me do that. Let me
Oh,
rock
well,
out to
here's the thing.
that.
My 16-year-old self would not have fucking said piano or organ. I promise you, it'd have been like a fucking electric guitar, the shred,
Yeah, it takes
bro.
age to get you
Oh, dude, it hits hard. I don't care who you are. It catches up to you, and then you start thinking crazy shit. Like, oh yeah, like he's like, oh man, a violin. It's like we're naming beautiful instruments.
there.
And it's
But
like,
if you would have asked me
but
then,
you want to know the
huh,
most utilized
no,
instrument nowadays? Computer.
sadly, sadly, it's true.
Where's
People
where are my
auto-tune.
musicians at? You know what I mean? It's like where are they at? It's like I get it.
Where's my garage band?
Yeah, it's like that's what I want.
Where's people chasing and banging and getting their
Yeah,
just getting it out
yeah. It's like I like old school grunge
there.
kind of.
I pray to God
It's
it
coming. I
never.
think it's gonna come back. I really do, man. Old school is coming back with a vengeance. I don't care who you are. You can see it.
Well, people are
You
so
can see
fucking
it.
quick to throw a tantrum, and it's like you got a kid in a garage
Mhm.
banging on his drums at like 3 in the afternoon when everybody's awake anyways, and they're
Right.
like, "Oh, turn that shit down, get it off," and they complain about it. It's like every one of your bands you like has a drummer.
Everyone.
You might remember that.
I mean,
Yes, there's ways to do it a little bit better, but you're never gonna know unless you actually play the real thing.
yeah.
I hate to tell you, it's like they need their practice, and it's like, and if a kid is playing drums, good for him.
I feel
Like
like
I'm not
if
gonna.
you,
He's
I
not
feel
out there
like if
doing
you
something
see
stupid.
any kid, it's like leave them alone. For real. Like let them play their drums. Let them play the guitar. Let them, you know, play the cello. I mean, I don't care. Like anything. Like it's awesome. It's a talent. Like it takes a lot of hard work. You know, it's not easy. I guarantee
Well,
it's
look
not
at
easy. And I
bass.
and I wouldn't know. I can't play shit. I have no room to talk about anything. You
Oh,
know.
dude. So we all know Drumline. We've all seen the movie, Nick Cannon, Drumline, and stuff. And I looked up some crazy stuff on like actual drum lines. I'm like, let me see some.
Oh,
Let me see some
the
of this.
real shit.
Like the real,
Oh, dude.
like that movie's
It's
based
more,
off of
it's more ridiculous than the movie.
than the movie. It really is. It's mind boggling.
crazy.
They will take drummers, turn them upside down, and just they're holding on to them. Their harness
Mhm.
is made just to hold them, and they'll just walk them up, then go in a circle, and then the drummer's just up there, just upside down, just oh yeah, guys,
Yeah,
perfectly
here we go.
fine.
Yeah.
And it's but that's what we're missing. That's
Yeah.
not cool anymore.
I mean, you don't hear about it that much, but I mean, it might be different in different places for sure. I'd
Yeah,
say,
I'm sure.
I don't know. I'd say like in their community, it's big. Like ones that
Mhm.
are still doing it.
I hope.
I mean, think about it. Like if you're in college and you're in like a drum line, like a legit. I mean, I feel like that would still be a big deal.
I think it'd be
You know
awesome.
what I mean? It's like that's pretty badass, really. I feel like that's really cool. I mean, think about it. Mizzou marching band
Mhm.
and the Golden Girls and all that shit this year, man, led the Macy's parade.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, or last year,
but still,
whatever.
yeah, sure.
But yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. I thought that was badass. I watched it. I was like, hell yeah, like good for them. And they sound. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, they did the whole opening deal. I mean, just
Okay,
is
okay.
amazing.
I got one last question.
All right, go.
No, we're getting close to the end here.
All right, we about to
So,
wrap this thing up. All right, yeah.
so
You wanna go?
I'm kind of hungry, bro. This fasting stuff. I'm telling you. So, if you could go to one concert, doesn't matter when, where, time. So you can just go to it or just watch a band. Doesn't even matter if you know the time. You just want to watch them.
Just want to watch them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's easy because it's my band.
Right.
It's Blink.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's a no brainer.
Where?
It's like,
Where would you want to see them at?
you know what, man? To be completely honest with you, like maybe on like a beach type style.
Oh, just yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that'd be cool.
It just
like a pop up.
yeah, yeah.
Something like real legit.
That's what I'm saying.
That'd
Like,
be,
because
dude.
just because of the music
Oh,
they play when
man.
the light, because you want it to go into, I think, a concert on the beach, still daytime for like an hour, and then
Yeah.
it goes into the darkness. So you have like a 2 hour concert, but it starts light, you're in the dark, and you're just having a blast. And that's how the music can change along with it. Okay?
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have any particular one?
Man. There's. See. Oh man. If I had to, honestly, if I had to narrow it down, back in the day, the Foo Fighters. I mean, of course,
You've been to one of them.
I have been to
Yes,
one of
you've
them,
been to one of them.
and it was amazing. It was awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Super jealous.
Yeah, but here a while back, it was when they did their. Man, I'm trying to remember the name of the CD. I don't remember now, but anyways, um, they did a little tour, but they were going around to people's garages
Mhm.
and playing live for like the community.
Yeah. They
And
were on the back of the trailer.
oh yeah, there's like one was back on the trailer. One of them was
Yeah.
like in a 2-car garage. One of them was like in a shop.
Mhm.
I mean, it was just old school as fuck. But it was like they played their whole brand new album there. I mean, and it was amazing. And some of the old school shit, of course.
Dude,
But it's like that would be so cool because it's like almost like a personal thing. It's like, could you imagine? It's like, especially like around here. It's like if like somebody had like a decently big shop, and then like the Foo Fighters was like, yeah, we're gonna play it.
absolutely lose my
Shitbird
mind.
shop here. It's like, and then they invited all of us.
First of all, you think you seen a fan freak out in a rock video? Just wait.
Oh, exactly.
There would be stupid memes.
Oh, I would
of
white girl
me.
scream.
Yeah, all over the internet.
Yeah,
All over the internet. They'd
I
be
would.
like,
I would.
What is he
push
doing?
little kids and women and shit out of the way to get to the front row. I would scream.
I would, yeah.
I would be like Patrick on SpongeBob. I have to touch you. It's like it would be crazy. Yeah, be amazing. That's what I want.
Well, we've hit that time.
About that time.
About that time.
Hey,
Yeah.
all right.
So,
Supper time.
So, brother, it was just great talking again.
Oh yeah, man. It was
For
awesome.
Anybody listening,
It was great.
I really hope you enjoyed that one.
I hope it sounded better.
I hope that you just like the whole setup better, and hopefully we can keep providing you with just some great videos. So
Yeah,
if you like them, please like the video or please subscribe. We big picture might help us, but either way, we're just doing this for fun. So,
exactly, exactly. Just like I said, let us know what you think. Drop a comment, leave a comment. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. Let us know what you think.
all right, everybody,
All right, see you
have a
guys.
good one.